How did aliens destroy humanity? I magnified this alloy drill bit countless times and found a super nano worm behind it. After he ate the drill, he directly split into two. They eat metal for their energy. The reproduction rate is incredible. The alloy drill bit that was fine just now was gnawed away in just an instant. The maintenance man was frightened on the spot and turned to run away, but the officer stopped him, because they found that the maintenance man's protective suit suddenly broke. And the maintenance guy was really freaked out. Hurry up and swipe your card, but the floodgates didn't move, and he desperately begged the superior to let him out. But the official is helpless because if you let him out, nanoworms will devour everything on Earth. So I can only watch him be devoured by bugs. What was even more amazing was that they found that the fixed armor that bound the giant was also quickly eaten by the nanomites. Then cracks gradually appeared in the bulletproof glass. The officer immediately pressed the destruction tunnel to reprimand. 20,000 degrees of flame shot out in an instant. However, after the high temperature incineration, even the alien giants didn't burn a single hair. Instead, it provided him with enough energy, and everyone was dumbfounded. The giant stared straight at this group of people. He slowly raised the gesture of surrender. At this moment, he turned into countless metal nanomaterials. See the situation, the officer is starting to panic. The first time I thought about swiping the card to run away. Open the door. This facility has been sealed but was told by soldiers that the base has been completely blocked. No one can leave. Then the next second, countless nanomaterials broke through the protective window in an instant. The madness engulfed the entire experimental base. A large number of armored vehicles that had been squatting outside for a long time were waiting for the anus to suddenly begin to deform after 20 meters. If you reprimand the large anus weighing 100 tons, it will be blown away by the spicy rice worm for hundreds of meters. Then a large cloud of misty spicy rice worms spewed out. The commander immediately ordered to do it to the death in an instant. Countless machine guns and rockets blasted at the spicy rice bug. But after attacking the target, it was absorbed by the spicy rice worm instantly. It didn't work. And it becomes food for the lamia worm. Each shell expands the swarm as the number of lamia worms skyrockets. The soldiers were so scared that they ran for their lives. But it was too late. The sea of worms was so fast. The whole artillery unit was eaten and stabbed. But the disaster was just beginning. The Secretary of Defense received the news. Nanobugs are on their way around the world as a big truck drives down Paradise Highway. The driver noticed some stains on the windshield. He turns on the wiper, but it can't be shaved off. Immediately after, the nanoworm army behind the car came straight at high speed. In just 11.9 seconds, a 30-ton overloaded truck and its driver were devoured. Not a single bit of residue was left, and the 8-meter wide asphalt road was turned into a piece of mud. Even the billboard next to them didn't let go of the nanomites and soon arrived in the city. At this time, the swarm has expanded by a factor of 10. Become more and more terrifying, even the 20,000 square meter stadium was razed to the ground in an instant. Spare no effort to eat up any traces left by human beings and see that human beings are about to face extinction. The Minister of Defense is helpless. I can only watch helplessly as the nanomites attack the nearby metropolis. Humans don't have any solutions. Only this man can save the world, because he is the complex ecology planet manager of the Ministry of Cosmic Planets. Immediately Inspector Kratu is precisely because of his accident to release worms that can devour everything, so why would aliens want to destroy humanity? In 1928, an extraterrestrial actinic sphere landed on a snowy mountain in India. It was discovered by an Indian mountaineer. Curiously, he reaches out to touch it, but nothing happens. So he took out his hammer and tapped it lightly and gouged open the shell on it. See the strange galaxy flowing inside. Suddenly, the sphere burst into a dazzling light. The climber just passed out when he woke up again. The sphere has disappeared, and a mark appeared on the back of his hand. This is how aliens collected the climber's DNA. Of course, the alien hiding in the crystal ball is Planet Ranger Kratu. Alien civilization has reached considerable heights. They have even forsaken their bodies. Completely in a state of soul, their souls can enter any form of flesh at will. It's a state of total immortality. So the climbers were smashing the orbs, and they didn't find them. After a 100-meter-tall alien heavily armored robot landed on Earth, he swept his bladder. Instantly, all human electronic devices fail. And then he emits nanosonic waves. It sent people crashing to the ground. Miserable how powerful are alien robots. Facing the sudden arrival of alien visitors, Excessive Beauty has ordered the most powerful drone to be dispatched to destroy it completely. But it was spotted by the alien robot before the drone approached. He immediately activated the bladder eye. The commander quickly ordered the launch of the rattlesnake trick-or-treating. And it worked. They were all successfully intercepted by the robot's bladder eye. Originally, the military was preparing for the next wave of attacks. But the drones lost control to the robots. Starting to counterattack, the human artillery positions are emptying people. After the class of armed forces, the robots automatically entered a state of armistice. The angry commander was instantly helpless. Now human technology is vulnerable to extraterrestrial technology. It seems impossible to attack. The military tried to adopt a conservative strategy. Use 3 giant isolation steel plates to pack the alien robot away. Transport him to a secret experimental base deep underground. As expected, he didn't attack after being transported to the underground base. They're gonna break down the body of the robot with diamonds. The commander who was sent temporarily came to the glass to check the situation. The eyes of the alien robot follow him, The commander who watched was a little scared. He ordered the maintenance workers to fix the drill and dry it immediately. This is the beginning of the end of the world. On the other hand, Krata guides Helen to drive to the suburbs. He walked to the edge of the swamp deep in the forest. Launched the program to save the planet. A small ball of light slowly surfaced. Under bright light, all kinds of creatures in the water rushed into the ball of light. Helen, who was behind her, was stunned. Kratu waded through the swamp. Water splashes. Then put your hand on the ball of light. All of a sudden, countless similar light spheres appeared from other places on Earth. Whether it's the depths of the ocean or the rainforest. All collecting various animal breeds, but no plants were collected. Because animals have souls, plants don't. Aliens actually want to preserve the souls of animals. But the human soul is too dirty and selfish, so the aliens believe that humanity should be destroyed. So after collecting all the wild species on Earth, the light balls slowly rose into the air one by one. A moment later, the entire world's photosphere simultaneously transports animals to outer space. Left home on Earth, now there are only humans left on the Earth. People watch the ball of light leave, naively thinking that the Earth is safe. But the child who had been with Kratu realized that something was wrong. Under his questioning, Kratu no longer concealed. He's from the Department of Planets and Space. He's an inspector of the ecological planets. His mission is to save the planet from humanity. Because humans have been ravaging the Earth is gradually dying. Only by eradicating humans will we not endanger the Earth. So he unleashed all-devouring nanomites to wipe out all humanity. Helen, who knew the truth, begged him not to do this, and said that humans would learn to change, but the aliens have waited too long. I also hope that humans can change, but humans are still arrogant and unrepentant. Therefore, the aliens will destroy humans as soon as possible to repair the Earth. Let the Earth start over. Now the destruction process has been initiated. Even if Kratu is killed, the destruction program will still be executed. Just as Helen begged Kratu to give humanity another chance. The detective passing by suddenly found them. Kratu directly touched the engine with his hands and steered the car into the detective. The detective fell to the ground in an instant. Kratu thinks the detective is just a hindrance. Inadvertently hurt him, so Kratu used his powers to bring him back to life. Helen realized that if she could convince Kratu that humans could change, then there is still hope. He took Kratu to the home of a famous biologist to talk to him. Kratu finds equations on the blackboard that scientists almost solved. Just as Kratu solved the equation that scientists hadn't solved. And so the scientist, in his ingenuity, worked it out. But then they said something very profound.
Is it possible? I have so many questions to ask you.
Spa.
It's beautiful. So we're not so different after all.
I wish that were true.
But there must be alternatives. You must have some technology that could solve our problem.
Your problem is not technology. The problem is you. You lack the will to change.
Then help us, Jay.
I cannot change your nature. You treat the world as you treat each other.
But every civilization reaches a crisis point eventually.
Most of them don't make it.
Yours did? How?
Our sun was dying. We had to evolve in order to survive.
So it was only when your world was threatened with destruction that you became what you are now.
Yes.
Well, that's where we are. You say we're on the brink of destruction, and you're right. But it's only on the brink that people find the will to change. Only at the precipice do we evolve. This is our moment. Don't take it from us. We're close to an answer.
Everyone has their own standards. Then a military helicopter chased after him. 3 people had to run into the woods. The little boy didn't run away. It turned out that Helen's stepson secretly called to report it. He was naive and ignorant, but he was hostile to aliens. Consider Kratu an intruder. A bad person is going to be eliminated. Before Helen could explain, she was whisked away by a helicopter and returned to the base. The remaining 2 helicopters are aimed at Kratu. But he's not a vegetarian either. And he can operate with the help of the light emitted by the laser sight on the weapon. Destroyed these 2 helicopters with ease. Helen Jeezy was horrified by this scene. Turn around and run. But I almost fell off the broken bridge accidentally. Fortunately, Kratu grabbed him in time at this moment. The child's selfish thoughts are also slowly melted away. And begged Kratu to take him home. Helen, who was captured, wants humans to make peace with aliens, but the arrogant minister eats the scale. I'm determined to fight the aliens to the end. But what he didn't expect was to be slapped in the face soon. Less than a day. Alien nanomaterials fly around the world and devour everything. No grass grows wherever the swarm goes. Most cities are in a doomsday crisis. The human species will be wiped out from the Earth by alien technology. After learning about the power of nanomites, the helpless minister is finally afraid. Release Helen quickly. Hope he can convince the aliens to end the destruction plan soon. There's not much time left for humanity. With the help of Kratu's superpowers, Helen's stepson gets in touch with Helen and agreed on a meeting place. Then the boy took Kratu to his father's purpose. Asked Kratu to resurrect his long-dead father, because he saw last night that Kratu has the superpower to bring the dead back to life. Kratu said that it was useless for the great Luo Jinxian to come. After all, your father has been cold for too long. To comfort the boy, Kratu told him that nothing really dies. The universe never wastes anything. What dies is just transformed into another form. The body is just a skin. It is the temporary residence of the soul. The desperate news left the boy completely devastated, and Helen comes up. I quickly took him into my arms. The two talked to each other about their pain and thoughts. He kept comforting his son, although the father cannot be resurrected. But as long as you inherit his will and live bravely, this is what my father wants most. See this touching scene. The editor couldn't help but wipe away tears. Kratu was also moved. He had a completely new understanding of humanity. Maybe it's human emotion. He came to believe that humans could really change, so she agreed to Helen's request. Decided to give humanity a chance, and at this point, Nano revisits the city like a tidal wave. Earth is about to be restored to factory settings. To shut down the snow in the city of destruction, you have to go through the largest ball of light in the central square.